Hello and welcome lovely student. This is Awais Malik and you are watching English with Awais Malik. In this video, we are going to discussing very useful, very important topic, and that is practice English speaking. This topic is a very useful, a very helpful, a very important as far as the language learning is concerned. As an English language learner, you want to speak English. So whenever you want to speak English, you need to practice it on daily basis to improve your English speaking. In this video, I have bring a very useful tips for practicing English speaking. I have bring a very useful activities for you to practice English speaking as well. So this video is going to be very important and very interesting, so don't skip it and watch it till end. Before going towards the video, if you are new on this channel, so please subscribe it and press the bell icon for further updating video about English language learning. As I earlier mentioned that this video is about English speaking practice, practicing English speaking. No one deny the importance of English speaking. As a language learner, you need to speak, and if you want to speak, you have to practice. If you practice, you will feel yourself to be a confident, you will feel yourself to be a better speaker of English language. In this video, I am going to share with you a very useful things which helps you how to practice English speaking. In the context of practicing English speaking, we just start from the basics of English speaking. As we know, the more important element which helps you to speak English effectively. So in this context, you just have to work on three different things. You just need to work on your pronunciation, you need to work on your vocabulary, and the third thing that is also very important, and that is grammar. So if you want to speak English, if you want to speak English in a better way and want to practice your English, you just have to follow these basics. If you work on your basics, you will move toward the advanced level and the goals that you want to achieve as far as the speaking of English is concerned. So let's get start from the pronunciation. If you see that pronunciation means to pronounce the something, we need words, we need how to pronounce the word. So whenever we want to speak English, we have to work on pronunciation. If you practice your pronunciation, you will feel that you speak English in a better way. Better pronunciation helps you to speak English in a better way. So whenever you want to practice English speaking, you have to work on your pronunciation as well. So when you work on your pronunciation, you will feel out that the things going to be in your favor, the things going towards right way, the things going toward in a perfect way, and the goals that you want to achieve as far as the speaking of English is concerned. So whenever you start practicing English speaking, you just have to know about pronunciation. Pronunciation helps you how to speak the word, how to use the sounds to make words, how to repeat the sound and connect the sound to pronounce and repeat the words as the pronunciation is concerned. So whenever you work on your pronunciation, you just feel out that how to things should be perfectly take place. So pronunciation is very important whenever you're speaking English, and whenever you want to practice English speaking, you have to work on your pronunciation. It helps you to speak better, it helps you to understand the native speaker as well. In practicing English context, the second thing that you have to work on it, that is building vocabulary. As we know that if you want to improve our English speaking, if you want to speak in a better way, and if you want to practice English speaking, you need words. If you have words, you speak English in a better way. You can practice the things easily, you can practice your English speaking in a right way and a better way. So if you have enough storage for words, that helps you to speak English in a better way. So how can you build your vocabulary? Whenever you work on your vocabulary, one thing that you have to do, that is reading. If you read a lot, you will feel that your vocabulary is improved. If you read a lot, you will be able to speak in a better way. If you read a lot, even you are better in writing English as well. So as far as the context of practicing English speaking is concerned, you just have to build a vocabulary which helps you to speak English in a better way. For building vocabulary, the second thing that you have to do, that is words of the day. Means you need a words on daily basis. One day, one word, then start using it for the purpose of improving your speaking as well. Or when you start speaking, you just need to practice it to improve in a better way. And the things and the goals that you want to achieve as a speaker of English language. Single goal, single thing that you want to achieve, that is you will be able to speak English in a better way. So achieving your goals that you have set for yourself, you just need to practice English speaking. In practice English speaking, we need vocabulary. So if we need vocabulary, we need words and need words on daily basis, and then start practicing it. Language apps are also useful and helpful for the purpose of building vocabulary. We need vocabulary, we need words, so apps helps you to build a lot of vocabulary, a huge storage of vocabulary, which helps you to practice your English speaking. So when you practice English speaking, you need vocabulary. So the things that I mentioned, that reading is one of the very important things that you have to work for the purpose of building your vocabulary. And as you build your vocabulary, you just feel that your speaking is improved. Third thing that you have to do to practice English speaking, and that is conversation practice. If you practice on daily basis like a conversation, that you have to regular conversation practice. So when you practice regularly, you will feel that your conversation is improved. As your conversation is improved, your vocabulary, your speaking, and the language efficiencies also improve. Conversation practice is also helps you to improve your English speaking. This practice is very useful as far as the speaking of English is concerned. When you practice it on daily basis, your speaking will be achieve your goals that you have set for yourself as far as the speaker of English language is concerned. In this context, chat box of practice is also a very useful way to improve your English speaking as well. As a conversant, we need to communicate, we need to share our ideas, our thoughts, our feelings with others. As a professional, we have to interact with our colleagues, our fellows in the purpose of professional work. So you just need to communicate, you just need to conversate with them with the help of English. So as you start conversation with your colleagues, fellows and friends, your speaking English is also improved. So this is also a very useful tips and way to practice English speaking as well. Number 4, we have role play activities. Role playing activities are very useful to improve your English speaking. If you want to practice, you don't know how to practice the things, this activity is very useful, and that is role playing activity. You just need to sign out a different role for the purpose of improving communication, for the purpose of achieving your goals as far as the speaking of English is concerned. In this context of role playing games, you just find out the friends which helps you to communicate with you as far as the conversation is concerned. You just need to find out a right friend, a right man for practicing yourself. So after that, it is also a very useful whenever you start is as a job interview. You just sit in front of some people and your friends and your colleagues and ask him, you just need to ask him a certain question and then get a reply and response in the context of improving English language. As you speak English in the forms of job interview and the forms of role playing activity and ordering food as well. This is also a very useful activity, ordering food. This is a useful way to communicate and improve your English speaking as well. Practicing English speaking is a very useful, is a very helpful to improve your English language speaking. But we are confused about how things should be performed, how things should be take place. So this confusion should be solved with the help of this video that I am sharing with you. A very useful activity. We just start from the pronunciation, then move toward how to build your vocabulary for the purpose of communication. After that, we have a conversation practicing, how to practice whenever you communicate and conversate with your colleagues, fellows and friends as well. After that, I sharing with you a role playing games and activity. Number 5, we have a very useful, and that is common mistakes to avoid. We know that mistakes is a part of learning. If you want to learn something, you have to commit a lot of mistakes. You have to make a lot of mistakes. If the mistake take place, this is the way that lead you towards the perfection. This is the way how the things should be do in a right way. So mistakes helps you to improve your speaking as well. As we see the common mistakes in a common speaking, like we have a filler words. Filler words means that we have words whenever we start in conversation, and that use that kind of pauses. Whenever you have to get some sort of breath as well. Whenever you need to speak English language as well. So this is a very useful and helpful how to avoid the common mistakes in the context of improving English language as well. Monotone speech is also helpful for you to avoid mistakes. Common mistakes can be solved by using filler words, by using monotone speech as well. And also it helps you and using overusing slang. We have used and do a lot of mistake whenever we communicate, whenever we need to build vocabulary, whenever we need to communicate and sharing ideas with friends as a speaker of English language. As a speaker of second language learner of English language, we just have to face a lot of mistakes. If the mistakes happens, then things could be goes in our favor, because mistakes help us how to make the thing in the right way. Last point, and number 6, that is also very important and useful for practicing English speaking, and that is resources for further practice. We need resources how to practice. As we know that we have to practice something, we practice certain words, we practice certain grammatical things, but how can we get those sort of materials which help us to practicing purpose is concerned? So in this context, books are very useful, which helps you to practice things through reading. So books is a very useful for the purpose of practicing English speaking. After that, we have a lot of online courses which helps you to improve your English speaking, which helps you to practice English speaking as well. Then we have a language exchange platform as well, where we can mention, we know that TED Talks is also very useful in the context of language exchanging context. Further, we have a podcast for listening a lot of things. When we listening practice through the helps of broadcast, we also use this platform, and that is YouTube, which helps you in the forms of a lot of courses, which helps you in the forms of a lot of videos as well, which helps you to practice English in the right way. So these are the few things which helps you to practice English speaking in the context of improving your speaking level. As a speaker of English language, we just need to start from your pronunciation, then you have to work on your vocabulary, after that move toward grammar. So these things are the basics for the purpose of practicing English speaking. So friends, this is all for today video. If you get it helpful for you and find out that these practicing activities for English speaking are useful for you, so don't forget to share it with your friends.